Hey everybody, you are in the master bedroom of our Skoolie build. This is a big king size bed. It is amazing. We freaking love it. We moved up from a queen size that was in the bread truck. One of my just must-have non-negotiables in this bus was a king size bed. And I wanted to be able to walk around it. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is the headboard. Now the headboard, you know, this is not a regular bed. Like, there's no bed frame that I bought. I built this all out of 2x4s and plywood, so it's totally a custom job. But we want a headboard to cover these windows and something that we can lean against. We want to be able to sit in bed and read a book or something like that. So we really always had in mind a headboard that had upholstery and like stuffing. So Ellie is a master of Facebook Marketplace, and she found a really great headboard on Facebook Marketplace. It's a king size, it's steel with leather upholstered pads on the back. It's just an awesome fit for the bus. I've had it in here just sitting inside, but now I'm going about actually attaching it, making it mounted in this bus. So when we were sleeping with no headboard, the sun comes up from that direction and it just blasts us with sun. As you can imagine, in the summertime, it's not great. Look down here, you'll see the frame of the bed is just a plywood strip there. So I'm going to be attaching the headboard to that plywood. I'm also going to be attaching it to this rail up here. This bus came with these really cool rails so that you can move seats around for special needs. You know, if you have wheelchairs or whatever, everything was adjustable. So these rails are really great. I can attach the top of the headboard to that. The bottom of the headboard will be going against the bed frame and being attached to that. One thing that's different about our king size bed is that a king size bed, I believe, is 96 inches by 92 inches or something like that. We turned it the other direction. So the actual head of the bed is meant to be here, and we turned it 90 degrees so that it's actually a little wider this way and it's a little shorter this way than you would normally have in a house. We did that so that I would have enough room to be able to walk around the bed. If I did not flip it, I would be losing like 4 to 6 more inches over there, and it just was too tight. I wanted to be able to walk around, because in the bread truck I always had to climb over Ellie to get out of the queen size bed. It wasn't great. I mean, I could do it, never fell on my face, but I really wanted a walkway. So one of the things about this bed that's different is that it's turned 90 degrees and the orientation is different than what you would normally see. I'm outside working on it now, so I thought I would just show you what I do when I'm using secondhand furniture, recycled, repurposed stuff. You got to make it work for your own application. So I thought I would just show you what I'm doing and how I go about customizing these things for my builds. Out here outside of the bus is my little workstation. I'm working on top of a table saw using my battery powered Makita angle grinder, which is my favorite tool. I have used this so much, probably hundreds of hours on this thing. I would say that I'm kind of metal sculpting here. I'm just making this the right shape to fit my bed platform, because this is a little too tall, because up here at the top, this little ornate piece, this was sitting up too high and it was bumping up against the roof. But if I lower it down just 1.5 inches or whatever the width of this is, it'll fit in there perfectly, and the top of the headboard will be right up against that rail that I can bolt it into. I'm cutting off this flat surface here is going to sit flat on the bed frame, and then this part, as you can see, is a little bit longer. It kind of comes out and goes down. That's going to stick right behind the bed frame, between the steel wall of the bus and the wood platform. So it's going to keep it from coming out. I can also drill some holes into this and screw it down into the plywood so that it doesn't move. It'll be attached along the bottom here, and there'll be a clip at the top that bolts it into the rail. So this is our headboard. I think it's pretty cool. I love the look of it. The leather is really nice. It is in great shape. Came from a really clean home. So it goes great in our school bus. One major downside I have to my angle grinder here is that it's battery powered. So when I'm doing jobs that require a lot of cutting, I can cut faster than the batteries can charge. So it gives me a little bit of downtime. And you'll notice my cutting wheel. This is a cutoff wheel. This is very small. That's because I tend to use them down to the nub. It's probably not the best thing to do, but when you're living out here, resources are far away, and you don't want to be buying them all the time. I go ahead and use them up pretty low, but since the battery's got a charge, I'm gonna switch out this cutting wheel, get a new one on here, and I'm just about finished. I mean, I gotta do some more work to it, but I'm getting close to being able to fit it in the bus. You would be amazed with the amount of stuff that you can do with the cutoff wheel. I have used this over and over again on so many projects, I couldn't even begin to tell you. It is a fantastic tool to have. The battery charging just can't keep up with the amount of cutting that I'm doing, so I have to take some downtime here. I'm just trying to get to the point where I cut a strip of this metal off, because the metal that I cut off of here, I'm going to repurpose to make a mount for the top that goes into that rail. It just has to be a Z bracket. It's gonna come down straight, go over like 1.5 inches and come back down, and then that will be bolted into the backside of this headboard. So it's just a little strip of metal that I need, but I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use this metal that I cut off to make that mount for the top of the headboard. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to cut a strip of this metal off yet. I'm almost done through the whole thing, but I got a little 2-foot section over there that I still gotta cut to be able to take it apart. Here's another tool that sometimes you just need. Between a reciprocating saw, some people call them a sawzall, and an angle grinder, you can do so much stuff with steel. Stuff that you thought, oh, I could never move this, I could never cut this or whatever. This can blaze right through it. The angle grinder can also blaze right through it. The thing about the reciprocating saw is that it tends to be a bit sloppier. This blade, it kind of hops around a lot. This is what I use more for rough cuts, or if I just can't reach something with the angle grinder, I use the reciprocating saw a lot. But I do prefer the angle grinder for precision, and it just makes a nice, neat job of it if you use the angle grinder on a lot of things. I think I have freed my piece. This is what I got to take off of here. There's a little bit stuck there still. Boom. There we go. This is the section that I had to cut out, so I'm going to cut a little strip out of this to make my bracket for the top of the headboard. So here's my cuts. I cut a section out of this, and as you can see, it's very rough. You know, it's got all these metal slivers, you know, little metal shards everywhere. So I got to go in here and clean all this up. But I have a perfect tool for the job. Another one of my favorite things to use with an angle grinder, and I'll show you what that is right now. So on my angle grinder right now, I have this cutoff disc. It's super thin. You can cut all sorts of steel. It's not great with aluminum, but it does do it if you have to. But this is an awesome tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and I'm gonna put on what's called a flap disc. A flap disc is amazing. I started using one about 6 years ago. This is a flap disc. If you look really closely, you can see that it's all like little sheets of sandpaper that are all connected together on a disc. So really it's just a bunch of sandpaper, but this thing will eat through steel like nobody's business. It's crazy what kind of work this thing can do. I use this all the time. I use it a lot on wood to carve and like finish off a little rough panel. Like I use it a lot on pallet wood to make a smooth surface. It's not exactly what it's intended for, but I use it for woodwork all the time. But it can straighten out steel. I'm going to round off these corners. I have some really sharp edges. I'm going to round everything off, make it nice and smooth and way less dangerous. So like this really sharp corner right here, this is something I want to get rid of. I don't want it, I want to round this off so it's nice and smooth. I'm going to show you how it's done real quick with this angle grinder. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at. This is what I want it to be like. You can see how this no longer has a pointed edge on it. It's rounded, and I smoothed all of these little edges with burrs. I could do a little bit more work to it, but I just wanted to show you real quick what I'm going for. This side is the side facing the walls with the windows, and this side is of course the upholstered side. So this is going to slip down just behind my plywood, between the steel and the plywood, and hold that in place all along the bottom. And I think what I'm going to do is just put a few holes here and there and just drive some screws down into the plywood. I don't think it's necessary because this is going to hold in pretty well, but I think I just do that anyways, just for a little extra extra stability. I don't want it banging around. I don't want to hear the bed, you know, headboard smacking the wall or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna continue cleaning this up a little bit. I love it. It's coming out great. Now I'm gonna test fit the headboard in the bus. I'll be right back with that headboard. Okay, this is quite heavy, and I gotta just slide it in there very carefully without cutting anything. Okay, so let's go. Okay, damn. All right. Oh. Oh. Okay. I love it. So now that I got it in, it fits perfectly. I got to build a little bracket that comes right down here and attaches to the back of the headboard. Hopefully I can do that without removing it again. I think I can, because I can just slide it up and do it that way. But man, this is going to be good. I love it. So this is the part I cut away from the headboard, and this chunk right here is what I cut away to make my bracket that's going to hold the top of the headboard in place. So I just got to clean this up. All right, we are in the bus. I am fixing the little mount that I made to the top of the headboard. I'm just doing some final touches. So this little metal strap right here, I created out of the scrap that I cut off the bottom of the headboard, put a couple metal tappers in there, and then this hole right here is going to be going up to this rail right up here. And you can see I have the bolt in place where it's going to be bolted to. The next thing I got to do is that I scored a couple places. There's going to be a strip of foam here, a strip of foam here, and then one more down there. I just got to make some little foam pads and attach those, and then I will be drilling a couple holes in here so I can put a wood screw down into the plywood down here. And there you can see that little channel that this flap of metal is going to go in. It goes down in there. So there we have it, guys. This is the master bedroom in the bus. That headboard is solid AF. It came out so good. I freaking love it. It's all bolted in. It's very secure. I mean, that thing doesn't budge at all. It is so solid. I love it. It's so good. I put little pads where it might have contacted the metal. That's in there nice and tight. The only thing I don't like about it so much is the appearance of that bracket, but it's not that big of a deal. We could maybe hang something there, like build off of that. I don't know, but I am loving it. It's pretty freaking awesome. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I just wanted to show you one of the ways that I repurpose used furniture and integrate it into my builds. This is our school bus build that is still in progress, and we have a lot of stuff to do. So we plan on traveling in about a month or so. So I'm trying to go through the whole bus, get everything bolted in so that it is safe and ready to roll. Hit the like button if you like this video. If you like recycling and repurposing and upcycling, all of those silly terms, you'll relate to this channel, I think, a little bit. Anyways, I'll catch you in another video right down the road. Pew.